Hi, good morning and welcome to today's pre-market video. As you can see the time on my screen, I'm recording this a bit earlier than usual and I have my reasons for doing so. You'd find out at the end of the video. So before we get right into it, thank you for everyone for liking, sharing, subscribing. Please continue to do so. Why, in case you're wondering, why do people content creators say you should do so, or people, and that's simply because it helps with the algorithms. The more interaction and engagement with the content, the more the different platforms, in this case YouTube, would prioritize and move it up in terms of visibility. So let's get this content out there to as many people as possible. As always, please note that content is not investment or trading advice. I'm simply sharing my views. So please do not make your investment decisions based on what people say. You need to come in and do your own calculations yourself. So please do your own research or sit down. I mean, if it's something that's convenient for you and it's within your budget, sit down with someone, x-ray your financial journey, come up with a plan that you can work with and maybe tweak every 2-3 months or quarterly. So criteria for my watch list, and for anyone who's familiar with the channel, you should know the criteria are price and volume movement as well as corporate actions. For today, we don't have much of a corporate action, no corporate actions, or there were no major corporate actions in my view yesterday. So Aradel, first on my watch list, and being the first doesn't necessarily mean that it's, like I say, the stock I'm paying the most attention to. It's simply just the first because that's the order of slides that I was presenting or I prepared. So stock closed flat, but I think I saw a few sub 500 trades yesterday, and I think that that very likely would continue. Julius Berger led yesterday's gainers. Institutional volumes were up over 60%, 6x rather, from its 90-day average. So clearly for me, institutional's positioning is it's a decent sign really, because institutional players, for them to position means they clearly see that the stock is undervalued. I've been wanting to do a Spotify episode on this stock. Maybe I'll do so. But if you look at the receivables that the firm has, and you try and work out the numbers, you should kind of see a bounce, but that's just all potentials. Maybe let's see how it goes. If I get enough comments, then I'd do a Spotify episode today. And just after this episode, by the time you watch this episode, you would have an episode on Transpower. Transpower had a couple of large off-market trades. One was, there was a large off-market trade last week Friday, and one yesterday as well. So more on that on Spotify. FCMB, institutional volumes rose sharply. I mean, investors are waiting for details of the impending equity raise. Now, the firm has kind of given a hint in the sense that, look, it's likely to be priced at lower than where the stock is trading at. I mean, let me just fish out the statement so that it's easy to I get the exact wording. I hope that this video doesn't exceed 15 minutes because I'm a bit pressed for time and I wouldn't be able to record a dual version for LinkedIn as well. So let's just fish out what FCMB said so that I'm accurate in my words. Here we go. So FCMB Group, by the way, is a listed entity. And so the group is the parent company of the bank. So the bank isn't what is listed, it's the group. You might call it a holdco structure, even though they don't use the nomenclature holdco. So what they said is the offer will be based on the live market price while ensuring that the offer price reflects an appropriate discount. So the question is, what would be an appropriate discount? I mean, the stock closed at, what did it close at? Network is a bit wonky this morning. I think it closed just above I need to close that. This is why I use multiple. Yeah, just essentially the stock closed at 11 naira. Dipped slightly yesterday, 0.91%, but that's kind of flattish. So the question is, what would be an appropriate discount for this stock? I mean, is it a 1 naira discount, 2 naira discount? I'll be watching though. I mean, for me, if the offer comes in, I've been in FCN before, probably what pushing to a decade now. So will I take, if it's a right issue, I don't know if I will take it up. What if the offer comes at a significant discount? Maybe what, 7 naira, 8 naira, then it starts to look interesting. But still, we continue to watch where FCMB would price that offer. NEM Insurance inched up slightly. I mean, I was looking at NEM in terms of price to book value. NEM is what price? I mean, book value for NEM, I think, is either 15 naira or 16 naira. And NEM closed at around the 20, is it 20, 26 or 28 naira. So it's trading high, a bit above book value because the price is what? 28 naira and 95 kobo, book value about 15. So 28 divided by 15 means that it's trading at 1.8 times book value. That's a bit, I mean, it's not overly pricey because you can argue that for the pedigree of the firm, trading above book value isn't an issue. But I just think it's pricey. I think it's pricey. I mean, another way to work out the numbers, and I don't have the time, but probably I'll do it in my spare time and then share with my clients, is to say, look, what's the return on equity of this firm? And if you watch my video, I did a video on Zenith Bank. If you're watching on YouTube, you can probably scroll down. If you're on LinkedIn, I can't remember if I shared that video on LinkedIn. That's the problem with LinkedIn and all that. But one thing you can do is to say, look, what's the ROE of this firm? Try and calculate the return on assets, return on equity, and estimate what that would be for this year. I think this stock is a bit pricey. If it comes down to maybe 20 or tops maybe 25, then it starts to look attractive for me and all that. But well, insurance stocks are all the rage, so it will still continue to trade within this price range, I think, in the near term. Okomu, I saw a few sub 1,000 naira trades yesterday. I think that's very likely to continue. Okomu has run in the last couple of months simply because Fresco at 80,005, Okomu was trading way cheaper, and so people felt that, look, maybe we should get into this stock and all that. If I can't, I mean, it's just it's a psychological thing. You might say, look, one stock is 1.5, equally decent stock is trading at 800, 900-ish. Then it just makes sense psychologically, I guess, for people to enter the stock as well. But what they fail to remember is that Fresco is probably 30, 40 times bigger than Okomu in terms of size and all that. I mean, they're both decent firms, both well-run firms and the like. So for any savvy investor, I think then this is definitely sub 1,000 marks start to look interesting. But ideally, in my view, I think maybe an 800, 850, 900 price point will work well. But it all depends on, your numbers and the likes. University Press was the worst performing stock yesterday, and it appears to be under sell pressure from a TA meaning technical analysis perspective because it's trading below its 15-day moving average of 6 naira and 32 kobo. The stock closed, I think, around 5 naira and 50 something kobo. Let me see if I can lay my hands on the numbers here. I'm using multiple screens at the moment, so I can't see my price list. But what I have here, UPL closed at 5 naira, I was right, 5 naira and 54 kobo. I mean, in my view, and I've expressed this, and you can check all the episodes I've done on Spotify. I think I did episodes on the 3 firms in the publishing space. University Press, Learn Africa, and Academy Press. I think Learn Africa seems to be the strongest on a fundamental basis. UPL isn't doing so badly, but at 5 naira 54 kobo, I mean, it's not expensive. It's not too expensive and all that, but I'm just not interested in this stock at this price point. If you hit a 5 naira, then it starts to look interesting from maybe a technical standpoint. Now it's still pretty much interesting because it's trading below 15-day moving average of 6.32, 6 naira and 32 kobo. But the question is how low can the stock go? If you have any questions, you can drop in the comment section or send an email to info@greenticketdeals.com. As always, watch out for the podcast episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. All the links are in my bio on YouTube. You can also find content on greenticketdeals.com. I'm finally getting around to doing that. I have the Bulls and Bears weekly episodes for article or thread, which I convert to a write-up on the Green Ticket Deals website. I think I'll also probably be putting together a write-up on Transpower, since I have my script for my audio episode. So thank you and have yourself a great day ahead. I see you guys at 12:30 p.m. West African time, where I'll be having a short video on a mid-market update. So that's the gist. If you stay to the end of this video, then you got the gist. So see you guys by 12:30, where I'll be doing a midday video.